Hey guys, welcome back if you're new here. My name is Courtney. I am a homeschooling mom to two boys. I have a 5-year-old and a almost 3-year-old. And so in this video, we are going to be talking about my 5-year-old. We're going to talk about the Bible curriculum that I chose for him going into his kindergarten year. I just want to put this out there that because of not only that I'm a Christian, but also because of my background in Christian theology, apologetics, and eschatology, I want to make sure that I am doing an appropriate level that I feel accountable for my child. We will all be held accountable before the Lord on what we did and didn't do for our children. Now, obviously, salvation is the Lord's, and I will not be held accountable for my children's own salvation. But if I don't give them the information, if I don't give them the foundation, if I don't teach them the things, if I don't make available certain things, then yes, it will fall on me that the Lord will hold me accountable for that. But I just want us to all understand that some people are not as comfortable teaching Bible, and other people, like myself, not only am I comfortable, but I feel very accountable for teaching it, okay? And so I want that to come across, that I'm not saying you have to do all this or that you should do all this, okay? Or that you can do all of this. I want you to do what you feel comfortable. And if doing this much is too much for you, then don't do it. You do what you feel is appropriate between you and the Lord for teaching your children, okay? Now, I also want you to know that my son has a very good biblical foundation, and both of my children do, and I would say that's all the Lord, and so I don't want to keep him lower when I can give him more because of where he is at. Your child may not be on this level, and that is totally fine, okay? So I just want that to come across, is that because I feel like we will all be held accountable, I don't want to be held accountable where the Lord would have expected me to do more given my background, okay? And of course, with all of the, to just keep an eye on my child, and if it becomes too much, if it's too much for him, if it's too much work, if it's, too advanced, then we will dial back. At the same time, I don't necessarily believe that your Bible curriculum or Bible choices need to be scaled back based on your child's age. I think we should be giving our children Bible verses out of the Bible. We should be telling them biblical concepts. Even if it is over their head, you're still planting those seeds. Now, I do think Bible curriculums and Bible books geared towards children, or even Bible storybooks, they have their place where they can help your children grasp more of those abstract concepts where, let's be honest, even adults, even myself with my background, can be difficult to grasp at times, okay? So let's go ahead and jump in. Again, don't be overwhelmed by everything I have. This not only is an area that I'm very well versed in, not only as a Christian, but also because of my background in theology, but it's also a passion of mine. I just generally could spend all day just reading my Bible or reading about these dry doctrinal components in theology. That is just who Courtney is, okay? So also kind of take that with a grain of salt. And I understand that's not everybody. That's not, God hasn't made us all that way where you could just sit and read about the doctrine of eschatology and the doctrine of apologetics and the doctrine of pneumatology and all of these things. For some people, that's just too much, okay? And so just kind of keep that in mind. Okay, so the core curriculum that we have for his kindergarten year is Sunlight K, right? And so with the Sunlight K option, I did choose HBLK for his kindergarten year. And so if you don't know how Sunlight works, Sunlight is known for their history Bible literature, and that is their HBL spine that they'll call it. And that is the spine to your curriculum through Sunlight. Now, it is a literature-based curriculum, and Sunlight is also a box curriculum. So while they themselves do make the HBL for your kindergarten year or your first grade year or your second grade year, they also will do science, and they also do have language arts. I don't know if they have language arts that Sunlight makes themselves all throughout the years. That I don't know, but I know they do some, because I have their language arts K. I digress though, but being a box curriculum, when you order through them, you can add in your math and you can add in these extras, right? So, but anyways, so our spine of his kindergarten year is technically the HBL K, okay? So history, Bible, literature, K, or kindergarten, okay? Now, Sunlight's Bible, it is a Christian company, and so they do include Bible. And especially as you progress throughout your Sunlight journey with your children, if you choose to do that, you will start to see that Sunlight takes what you're learning in the Bible and they'll start connecting that with some of your literature, some of your history. Like, they'll start to kind of tie in those three. Not always, but generally what I can see is they do try to kind of combine those and draw them in. Some of your literature might actually be missionary stories and things like that. And so it is really beneficial and really interesting how they do that. With that said, the Bible curriculum that Sunlight does for their kindergarten year is sufficient to give your children enough Bible outside of Sunday school, outside of your family devotions, outside of, like, it is a curriculum. It is there. It is great. But for me, it's not enough, okay? So this is the History Bible Literature Instructor's Guide for K, which they call it Intro to the World Cultures. And you can see right here, it's the History Bible Literature Teacher's Guide. And so it's actually still packaged. I haven't taken it out. I will do a full flip through of my Sunlight HBLK. If you're interested in the Bible component, you'll want to come back for that video. If it's already out, I'll link it down below. Otherwise, it'll be on my channel shortly. And so we will do a full flip through. I will walk you through. I will show you the instructor guide, and I will show you where it says Bible and what you're going to do. And what's great about Sunlight is you can download samples, and for me, it just was not enough Bible. They do have an area in the instructor guide where they're going to prompt some conversation. Like I said, it is sufficient. If you are a Christian parent, but you don't even know where to start with Bible, this is great because they have it there. They have it scheduled out. Your main Bible book you're going to be using is going to be the Ergemeyer's Bible. I will put a picture right here. So I actually thrifted that Bible, and it should hopefully be here shortly. And so I am excited. We have done a lot of storybook Bibles, and this one feels like we're getting a little bit more to that realm of reading the Bible. And so I'm very excited. I have heard only great things about the Ergemeyer Bible, and it is definitely, I think, going to be well geared for my son. Now, with that said, I felt like I needed to do more. I did not feel like this was enough. And so what I ended up doing was I went out and I actually did buy a Bible curriculum. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to mesh this as best as I can with Sunlight's. We're still going to follow Sunlight's Bible curriculum, but I am going to add in the Bible curriculum I bought. So the Bible curriculum that I chose for my son for his kindergarten year is Bible Truths K-5, and this is through BJU, or Bob Jones University. And by the way, it has no connection with Bob Jones. If you know, you know. Okay, if you don't know, don't worry about it, but it's completely separate from Bob Jones. Okay, so, but it is through Bob Jones University. Bob Jones University is similar to Abeka. As far as I've understood, a lot of Christian schools will do Abeka, or they'll do BJU, and I'm sure it's not just those, but they will use these as their curriculum in their schools. I didn't go to a Christian school, so I don't really know how that works, but that's what I've kind of understood. So, but anyway, so this is the curriculum we're going to go through. So I ended up choosing BJU Kindergarten K-5 Math, and I fell in love with all the samples and the teacher guide, and I was like, I want to do the Bible. I want to do their Bible curriculum. One, I just want to see, how is this? Is this something where I would want to continue on with his Bible curriculum through BJU through the years to come? So I will do a video where we do the Bible Truths BJU K-5 flip through, and I will walk you through. This is the teacher's guide. It's spiral bound. It is absolutely wonderful. It's got a nice hard back to it. It's got a soft cover, and I am just very excited for this. It looks wonderful. I will give you a little snapshot of the table of contents, and like I said in that flip through, I will link it down below if it's already out. I'll try to remember when I do post it. Otherwise, go look on my YouTube channel for it. But I just love what it's going to cover. The teacher's guide, you can see it is going to hold your hand, it is going to tell you what to say, what to read. It's going to give you in pink little indicators of like, this is what you need to do. This is what the answer should be. You will see back here where you're asking questions, and the pink is going to be your answer. So you can see why this is geared towards an actual Christian school, is because a lot of your teacher guides are like that in the school system. And so when you do order off BJU, it's a little bit confusing. So if you have questions, you can comment down below. If you have any tips, comment those down below, because this is the first time I have dealt with BJU, and it was a wonderful experience, but it is a little confusing, kind of like Sunlight. Their website's a little confusing. Now, they did have a CD, and I forgot to add that. So I am going to go back to BJU's website, and I am going to order the DVD. I did want to say, though, if you watched my math, you know that BJU, for their subjects, will do different ways of teaching where you can buy it. And I don't know if it's for every subject, but at least for the math and for the K-5 Bible, you could choose if you just want the materials and it be parent-led, or you could choose where you can stream the video through the Homeschool Hub, or you can do the DVDs, which you do have to return. And also the video that you stream, I chose that option for my math for my son. You only get access to the videos, kind of like in college where you would have access to all the materials for just the semester. So, and then it goes away, right? Which is, again, kind of a bummer, but I understand they need to make money. So I think I have access to like my math video for like 16 or 20 months or something from when I started, or something like that. But anyways, for the Bible, I chose not to do that. Again, I could see maybe later on, if we continue with the Bible through BJU, I might consider getting the videos. But again, I feel very confident teaching the Bible to my child, and I'll have my husband, he can obviously jump in and do that as well. Your guide is absolutely wonderful. I am so excited. So this will be our main Bible curriculum. Now, with that said, I have more, obviously. Okay, so the teacher's guide comes with your Bible Truths K-5. This is the work text for your child. And when you open it, it is kind of like bound that way, if you know what I'm saying, where it's bound kind of weird, so you can easily rip the pages out and just see how colorful it is and hands-on. And this is just something that Sunlight was kind of lacking, was kind of that hands-on way in making it more applicable. Again, some of these things I know they do in like Sunday school, but as a mom who I am the one, me and my husband are the one who will be held accountable, and I never want to leave something like this in the hands of my Sunday school teacher for my children. Never. That should be I'm the first go-to. I want to make sure that I am the one thoroughly covering this with my children. And so I am just very excited for these. I think that it's wonderful, it's colorful, and my kids love work text, workbooks, so they will absolutely love this. Okay, so that is our main Bible curriculum. But I know, I'm not done. Okay, so I'm just going to show you a couple of the extra things that I do have. Now, I do want to make it clear, I have bought some books from thrift books that are going to cover and expand on some biblical concepts, biblical teachings, you know, what are our eyes for, what are our hands for. God made everyone unique. I will try to throw a few pictures up here of some of the books I bought. Again, I placed a thrift books order and I have not got them yet, but they're on their way. And every year my husband and I, we say there's nothing more important than making sure our children are raised in the Lord. And we are a literature family, as I have said before, and so being able to teach my children biblical concepts or, you know, biblical character or whatever it is through great literature books is an incredible investment for us. And thrift books helps make that a little bit more affordable. We're not sponsored by thrift books, I wish. So there's a couple extras I have here besides all those books. We will continue to work on our 3-part cards. So if you know anything about Montessori, you do a card like this, the 10th commandment. I'm going to open this real quick. So we're going to continue on with these. So you have your 10th commandment, there's a picture that goes with it, and then it tells you what the 10th commandment is. And then over here is the parts of the 3-part card like this that I have cut, and my son will match them up, so he can match the 10th commandment up with what it is. And then eventually the goal is my son will read the 10th commandment, maybe get a little boost from what the picture is, and he will be able to find the actual what the 10th commandment is. Obviously that's going to take a while to get to till he can actually read, but for now he's just matching the picture and attempting to match the words, and he's doing a really great job with it. And of course we read it, and we just will work on these, you know, a couple times a week, maybe once a week. And I actually have made these myself. They're in my Etsy shop. I'll link them down below. I have seen so much fruit come out of these, and that was really why I made them. And then I was like, other people might be interested in them. And so we have really learned the 10 commandments. I have ones on the days of creation. That one has been wonderful for my son. And then I also have ones on the miracles of Jesus, as well as the names of Jesus. And so those have also been fruitful. We have not done the miracles yet, but I think that will just be a great way for him to see kind of, sorry, I'm getting a phone call. I think it'll be really great for him to see kind of the deity of Christ and what he did on earth. The other thing I was going to incorporate, and this is going to be in our like morning time, and it's just going to be super basic, but I find we are getting to that point where my son is asking those a little bit harder to answer questions, even from a theological perspective, even from somebody with like a good theological background. It's like, I know the answer. It's just making it so your 5-year-old understands it is incredibly hard. And so this is the Bible questions and answers for kids. And this is by Dave Streckler, if I'm saying his last name right. And so I bought this at, I believe, Hobby Lobby, and so you could probably find it on Thrift Books, but it, you know, on the back it just says, who created God, where is heaven, and why does God let viruses take over? Can God do anything? Can he bring dinosaurs back to life? If God knows what I need, why should I pray? So just some of those like questions that like a 5-year-old is now asking me, and I just find that this will be kind of fun to just kind of incorporate, and yet very beneficial. So like this one is number 24, did Jesus cry when he was a baby? And so you can see there's the question, and then it's going to have just a little bit of an area that you can read with your kids, and then it does have a quiz section, and then it kind of tells you the answer and whatnot. So there also is there's also verses in here that you can read, not only throughout the answer but also in the quiz area right here. So again, in that flip through that I do of all the books we're adding into our curriculum for kindergarten to cover Bible and theology, I can do a flip through of this a little bit more in detail. Okay, so the other thing we're going to do, and we're going to actually start this summer, so I will have a video coming out soon if it's not already out, and I will talk about what our summer plans are before kindergarten. And we're going to go ahead and start this one, and this is leading little ones to God. So this one actually used to be part of the Sunlight curriculum. I can't remember what grade it was, but you were supposed to read this and do this with your children as part of the curriculum. And so I had bought this way back, and I think it was Science Mama who had like talked about this, and then they took it out and they don't do it anymore, or they moved it to a different grade. But anyway, so we're going to go ahead and do this as part of our summer morning basket, and I am still trying to plan that. That's why that video is not out yet, but we are going to start incorporating leading little ones to God. And so what I will probably first start doing is, you can see like this is one is I will probably read this with my children while they eat breakfast, or to my children, not with my children. And then you can see right here at the top is kind of the last part of it, and that's it, right? And then it goes into number 2. So like I said, there is a reading, there is a something to talk about, there's a something to talk about area, and then there's a memory verse that they give you. They also give you a suggested reading. So like right here, they have Psalm 105, 1-4. There's also a hymn that you can sing, and you could even look that up on YouTube. And then there's a prayer. And so I'm not exactly sure how we're going to incorporate all of this, if I'm going to do just like, you know, one section of reading, if I don't really know how I'm going to incorporate this yet. It's obviously a pretty thick book, but I'm kind of right now just kind of planning on, we'll just incorporate this in our morning basket time during the 4 days that will probably continue in the summer, because that's just what we do during the year. So why change that? It'll obviously just be significantly lighter, but we might just do the reading on one of the days, and then the next day maybe we'll do the psalm and then the hymn and then maybe the prayer or whatever, and we'll just kind of see. We'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll do 2 a week and we'll go from there. And then when we get into the fall and we're doing his kindergarten, I will probably definitely only do 1 an entire week, just because we have an actual curriculum and things like that. And it's that same thing with the Bible questions and answers. I might do it once a week, I might do it 2 times a week, we don't really know. So look forward to that in the fall when I do my Q1 or Q2 or halfway through the semester update, and I'll let you know how we're incorporating those. Okay, so this is the other thing that I'm going to do, and we're really going to skip around in here, but this book I actually got at a local thrift store. It's the Children's Encyclopedia of Bible Beliefs, and so this is talking again kind of about like some of those questions, but it's more of like those concepts, right? In the Bible, why did Jesus come? Are there angels? What is heaven like? What do you do when you're scared? So again, covering some of those just questions that kids have. And let me see. So like I mean, obviously like there's a section on like, I'm not going to say it, but like you can see. Like I don't really know if we're there yet, but yet my 5-year-old has like mentioned things about it because he's seen it in like a Disney movie, or he's seen it on like a show that he's watching, and I'm like, oh my gosh, and so like this might be good on how to like talk about it. Obviously like this may not be geared to my 5-year-old, not everything in here, not all the topics. We'll just kind of pick and choose, and I'll just kind of because like obviously like this, not something I'm going to talk about with my 5-year-old, but something like this one, right? Friendships and caring and sharing, like this would obviously be a good area from a biblical perspective to talk about. So this is probably one that I will definitely give an update on. I'm sure a lot of you are curious. I will link it down below if I can find it. Like I said, I got it from a local thrift shop, but you might be able to check thrift books. I have 2 other ones, but they are definitely like way more advanced and not for my child. But this one I thought would be good with some of the topics it covers. When I do the flip through of all the books, like I keep saying, I will do a flip through on that one as well. Okay, so this is the Bible curriculum that I am doing for my son. So again, we are going to have our spine of sunlight. We will do what sunlight says. We will do the Ergemeyer's Bible. We will do the memory statements. And honestly, I haven't opened this, so I don't know exactly what else. I just know when I was researching sunlight, I did not think it was enough. So then of course we will add in all of our K-5 Bible. And then of course we have just all our mixture of books, plus all of the books I have coming from thrift books that I try to give you a little snapshot, and I will do a detailed flip through of this. So look forward to that on my channel, and comment down below. Let me know if you've used any of these materials, if you've read any of these books that I am going to thrift. And also I would love to hear what you used for kindergarten, or what you plan on using for kindergarten, or even whatever grade your kids are right now. Let me know what curriculum you are going to be using for them for this year. Okay guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.